Hello, welcome to Black Friday with Brittany Kennedy. Today is July 24th, 2020, and I am stoked about this weekend. Hope you guys have had a really good week. I hope you're staying safe. I know a lot of the southern states are having a really hard time when it comes to COVID-19. You guys are starting to see kind of the same thing that was happening in New York. That's my son in the background. So if you hear lovely cooing noises and jubilee kind of sounds, that is him having a grand old time. And we'll see how long that lasts, right? Anywho, back to COVID-19. I know the southern states are having a really hard time, so I hope you guys are staying safe as much as possible, wearing your mask, using your hand sanitizer, staying inside unless you really need to go outdoors. Oh, please stay safe. We are not in the clear when it comes to COVID-19. So, obviously, this disease has hit the Black community harder than any other community, considering that we have the highest rate in the illnesses that this specific disease happens to attack. So, heart disease, diabetes, etc., etc. So, please stay safe. Welcome to Black Friday with Brittany Kennedy. This is a space where I like to talk about socioeconomic issues in the Black community that are too taboo to talk about. I like to talk about them. I think that if we create awareness, we can start to create solutions, and we can create a better community for us, our peers, our family, our future generations, and really that's what life is all about, right? So last week I posted a video talking about politics. That has been the mainstream topic for the past few of my videos, for those of you that have paid attention. And so the last video was called, Should Black People Create Our Own Political Party? And the numbers were alarming. I get a lot of views or a lot of interactions on Facebook. That's where I post my YouTube videos. And I received in one group alone over like 400 likes, about 400 comments. And the consensus is that, yes, we should start our own political party. We should have done this. A few people said no. And I was really confused about that. Why would somebody say no? And their thought process, some of the people were thinking that it's going to create more segregation, more separation between us and them. And I was like, have you seen the news lately? Have you been outside at all? Have you been alive? Have you been living for the past, I don't know, say decades, between police brutalities and everything else? Have you paid attention to history? Because if you did, you would have discovered that separation has been happening for a really long time. This is nothing new. So, love bug. So clearly I'm going to have to figure out how to edit videos. If you're listening to this part, then that means I haven't figured out how to edit videos, and I just posted it as is. So, thank you for being so patient and understanding. What's the matter? Come on. So my lovely, beautiful accessory is kind of relevant for today's topic. Like I was saying about the idea of separation, obviously we're separated, so I don't understand why people have this view of like us creating more separation within the separation that already exists. I think we're already separated, so I don't think creating our own political party is going to continue to separate us. I think it's going to make sure that our voices are heard and ensure that our best interests are actually being served, which is what's happening right now, is that, or the opposite of what's happening right now, is that the Republican and Democratic Party do not serve us the way that they should, so we should create our own political party. That's what I think. That's what a lot of other people think. So, thank you guys for paying attention to that video. Thank you for tuning in. For today's topic, I want to talk about unity and the family unit. So right now we're really focused on the Black community uniting, right? Getting our voices heard. Okay, you're not going to do this, are you? Well, you can just jump here. Getting our voices heard is a huge issue, but uniting is even a bigger issue. We're not really uniting as we should, and that's a big problem for us. So how do we actually do that, right? How do we create that unity? And to me, it starts in the family. Like, that's to me where the hugest breakdown is right now, is in the Black family. Because if the Black family was actually creating the idea of unity, then we would also see unity in our Black community, which is what we do not see. And if you look at the statistics, I have a few videos that are posted regarding this particular subject matter. 70% of Black children are growing up in single parent homes. So that means there's no unity. And these adults obviously were raised by parents who did not teach them unity in the family. Otherwise, we would have a lower number, right? And we can go back and we can split hairs about how this came to be, and really we would go all the way back to systematic oppression and taking the jobs from Black men going into drug use, going into crime to support their family. We've got the welfare system coming in saying that, if a man's in the household, you can't get assistance. So then there's that. But the welfare system was created in a way to support Black mothers, Black families who were not able to support themselves. Then you had, around that same time, you had the imprisonment era. I don't know. You can check out the videos that I have about that, where I'm talking specifically about that, and learn more. But for the sake of time here, let's think about the family unit today and the breakdown of it, and how do we acquire this breakdown? It's from former generations. Former generations is what passes on this disunity, this disconnection. And I found it in my own family. I find it in a lot of other people's families that are around me. I'm sure obviously, even in other communities, white, Hispanic, whatever, it's also there. But we're talking about the Black community, not those communities. So let's focus on ours. And for me specifically, I grew up as an orphan. I didn't have my mother. I didn't have my father. I knew who my family was, but I wasn't raised within those who were of my bloodline. Other people raised me. And so as a result, there was further disconnection. But the generation before me is the one that allowed that to happen by not taking us in, by not creating that unity and that family unit that should have been there. And so now I'm seeing that we're also having a hard time making sure that we are connected. It's easier for us to go years without seeing each other, without really communicating. I mean, we've got these Facebook social relationships, but our children don't really know each other. I've just had my first kid, but I don't really know my nieces and my nephews the way that I should, the way that I need to. And that's part of my responsibility to do differently because I know better. And so even though the relationship may have been challenging for me amongst me and my other siblings, I should have done a better job. I have to do a better job to make sure I create that relationship with their children. That way they can have a relationship with my children. That's just the way that things should be. But on a broader spectrum, we are seeing this breakdown amongst our community overall, is that the Black community is not creating the family unit the way that we should have. And so I think everyone needs to take a look at themselves and have a moment of introspection and think about, what am I doing that is creating disunity in my family? How am I recreating that same narrative for my future generations? It's not just generational wealth. It's not just equality that we need to focus on. It's also the basic idea that we need to make sure that we create strength amongst ourselves. And that's first going to happen in the Black home. If that does not happen in the Black home, if you do not have more women and men functioning as husband and wife in the Black home, you're not going to see it in future generations. You've got children growing up who don't understand what a healthy love relationship looks like because they didn't see the example of a husband and wife, or they saw a poor example of a husband and wife love each other, one or the other. You've got young men growing up, or young boys growing up as men who don't understand how they should respect a woman, even though they had a mother who was there teaching them to respect, should have been teaching them to respect. I don't know how exactly that works out, but if you had a good example, you are 10 times more likely to have that replicated. If you have a great example of what a father is supposed to be like, a loving father is supposed to be like, you're going to replicate that. And the same for young women. If you have a young woman being taught by a woman how to respect their bodies, how to respect themselves, how to respect their mind. They're going to grow up to be women who respect themselves and respect others, respect their spouses. And so I don't understand how we have moved forward. I mean, I do understand because times require it, right? Where the police brutality has required us to come together in that kind of way. So sometimes you got to work from Z to A in order to get to where you really want to go. Sometimes you just got to work the road a little bit backwards. But at the end of the day, I truly believe and truly feel like we need to solidify the Black family unit. We cannot unite with our neighbors if we're still disconnected within our own household. How do we do that? How are we going to truly create unity if we're not creating it overall? You don't get to pick and choose that you want to let's link up for issues against the Black community, but let's not link up against issues warring against ourselves. I don't know how you resonate with that. I don't know how people do that, but I'm looking at things on a grander level, on a bigger level. And I think if we're being honest with ourselves, we need to start to look inside of ourselves. I think a lot of times we grow up without healing from our childhood traumas, and we recreate those childhood traumas without even noticing that we've done that. We leave our future generations with more trauma because we haven't healed from our own trauma. And so I think we really need to start taking a better look at ourselves in order to create a healthier community for all of our people on a global level. We have to first look at, what am I doing? What am I doing to those around me? What am I doing to myself? And what am I impressing upon my family, my future generations? How am I creating the world that I think I want to see for myself and for others? And until we really truly do that, until we fix what's happening in our own homes, we're not going to fix what's happening in the streets. We're just not. We can talk about Black Lives Matter, we can talk about unification, we can talk about uniting, but if the Black family was truly teaching unification, we wouldn't be talking about uniting as people out in our communities. We would already have that. So clearly the breakdown has been in the household. We need to fix that. And until we fix that, we're not truly going to be able to recreate a healthy society where we are truly uniting against the powers that be. That's what I think. Son, are you hey, love bug. Wow. This video has been cut short, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you receive what I am saying. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I hope that you like this video, share it, subscribe to my lovely channel. I actually missed, I think, one important part. I was supposed to be talking about supporting Black businesses, and so this week I'm supporting myself, and I do tarot readings. If you would like a reading, please comment. I'll link I'll put my email address at the bottom so you can email me if you would like one. I think that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a lovely, safe week. Take care.